and
What's the
welcome
first
everyone.
question?
Thank you for joining today's powerful live stream session. Today we are diving into a topic that affect every single one of us, the psychology of motivation. Why do some people stay driven even in the thought situation while others give up at the smallest obstacles? What is the real science behind motivation? Today we are going to explore all of this. And for this insightful discussion, we have a brilliant guest with us, the thoughtful and incredible inspiring Maya. Maya, welcome to the session. It's always amazing to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining today. Your experience and perspectives will be extremely valuable for our viewers. Let's jump straight into this powerful topic.
Glad to be here. Sounds like a good one.
Okay, Maya,
Fire
my first
away.
question is to start with, how would you define motivation for psychology point of view, understanding of the foundation?
From a psychological standpoint, motivation is essentially the process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal oriented behaviors. It's what gets us moving, keeps us going, and determines how much effort we put into achieving something. It's not just about wanting something, but about the underlying drives biological, emotional, social, cognitive that fuel that want. There are different theories, of course, ranging from basic needs fulfillment to self determination theory, focusing on autonomy, competence, and relatedness. But at its core, it's about the why behind our actions.
Okay, what are the core psychological factors that drive on human motivation?
Okay, so there's a lot happening under the hood, but core factors would be needs, both physiological, like hunger, and psychological, like belonging. Then there's intrinsic motivation, which comes from the enjoyment of the activity itself. That's powerful stuff. Extrinsic motivation, doing something for external rewards or to avoid punishment, is also key, though generally less sustaining. Expectancy theory plays a role, believing effort leads to performance, performance leads to outcomes, and those outcomes are valuable. Finally, self efficacy, your belief in your ability to succeed, is if you don't believe you can do it, you likely won't even try. Those are the biggies, I think.
Okay, why are some people naturally more motivated than others? Is it personality, upbringing, or environment?
Um, that's a messy one. It's almost never just one thing. There's definitely a genetic component. Some people are born with temperaments that predispose them to be more energetic or persistent. Upbringing matters immensely. A supportive environment that fosters autonomy and celebrates effort breeds intrinsic motivation. But then environment keeps playing a role throughout life. Access to opportunities, social support, even just exposure to motivating role models. All of that shapes things. I'd say it's a complex interplay of nature and nurture, with personality traits adding another layer. It's less about more motivated and more about different motivational profiles, really.
Okay, got it. Okay, Maya, what does neuroscience tell us about motivation? How important is dopamine in this process?
Neuroscience points to a few key areas. The reward system, heavily involving dopamine, is obviously crucial. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about prediction and learning. When we anticipate a reward, dopamine levels rise, driving us to take action. It's not the reward itself that's motivating, but the expectation of it. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning and decision making, also plays a huge role. And then there's the amygdala, which processes emotions and links them to motivational states. So, dopamine is vital, but it's just piece of a much bigger puzzle. It's less the motivation molecule and more a key messenger in a complex system.
Okay, that's great. Maya, many people start strong but Loss, motivation, mind way. Why does this happen psychologically?
That's super common, actually. A lot of it comes down to goal setting. If goals are too ambitious or lack clear steps, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Progress plateaus are also killers. When you stop seeing results, dopamine levels dip and motivation wanes. Self doubt creeps in. Then there's the issue of willpower being a finite resource. Constant exertion depletes it, making us more vulnerable to distractions and temptations. Basically, our brains are wired for efficiency. If something feels too hard or isn't yielding immediate rewards, we're inclined to switch to something easier, even if it's ultimately less fulfilling.
Okay. Maya, what
It's a
is
bit of
the
a design
what
flaw.
is the relationship between discipline and motivation? Is discipline more powerful?
It's a great question. Motivation is that initial spark, that desire to start something, and discipline is what keeps you going when the spark fades, and they're related but not interchangeable. Discipline is really about building habits and routines, automating behaviors so you don't rely solely on feeling motivated. In that sense, discipline is often more powerful because it's more reliable. Motivation fluctuates. Discipline is a skill you can cultivate. It's not always fun, but it's far more likely to get you to your long term goals. You need both, honestly, but leaning into discipline when motivation dips is crucial.
Okay, how much does mindset or self belief influence a person's level of motivation?
Massively. Self belief is huge. Carol Dweck's work on mindset, fixed versus growth, is relevant here. People with a growth mindset who believe abilities can be developed through effort are far more resilient in the face of setbacks and more motivated to learn and improve. And self efficacy, your confidence in your ability to succeed at a specific task is also key. If you genuinely believe you can do something, you're more likely to put in the effort required. A negative mindset, on the other hand, can create a self fulfilling prophecy of failure. Pretty powerful thing, really.
Okay, Maya, procrastination is a common problem. What is its psychological link to motivation? Why do people procrastinate?
Procrastination isn't about laziness, it's usually an emotion regulation problem. People procrastinate when a task triggers negative feelings, anxiety, boredom, self doubt. It's a way of avoiding those uncomfortable emotions in the short term. The psychological link to motivation is that procrastination represents a conflict between your rational self, which knows you should do something, and your emotional self, which wants to avoid discomfort. It's like your brain is saying, I know this is important, but I'd rather feel good right now. Also, perfectionism often plays a role. The fear of not doing something perfectly can be paralyzing.
Okay.
It is a pretty complex thing and takes work to overcome.
Okay, what is the most effective formula for sustaining long term motivation?
There isn't a single formula, but it's a combination of things. First, set clear, achievable goals. Break them down into smaller steps. Second, focus on intrinsic motivation. Find aspects of the task you genuinely enjoy. Third, build habits and routines to automate behaviors. Fourth, practice self compassion. Don't beat yourself up over setbacks. Fifth, cultivate a growth mindset. Embrace challenge. Oh, all right. Have a good one.
Okay, and finally, what is one powerful message or advice you would like to give to another watching who wants to become a more motivated person starting today?
Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pick one tiny habit, one tiny step that moves you closer to your goal, and focus on consistency, not intensity. Showing up even when you don't feel like it builds momentum and self belief. It's not about being motivated, it's about taking action.
Okay, Maya.
The motivation will often follow.
Okay, Maya,
All
thank you
right,
so
bye.
much for sharing such a valuable and powerful insights. Today's session reminds us that motivation is not just a feeling, it's a psychological process influenced by our habits, mindset, goals, and environment. To everyone watching, remember motivation is not something you wait for, it's something you build. Thank you for joining us today. Stay motivated, stay focused, and keep growing. We will see you in the next session. Take care and goodbye.
You're very welcome. Glad I could join you.
Okay,
Sounds
thank
like a good
you.
group.